What's good, y'all? So in this video, we actually going to be putting everything together. I will be going over trade examples, showing you what I look for when I trade in the mornings before the market opens. Like I said, I trade at specific times of the day. I only trade at those specific times, and I only trade specific pairs at specific times. You should watch my video on the time frames and the sessions on when you should trade what. That way, you get an idea of what you should trade during specific sessions. Not only that, it helps you control your trading a lot more. All you need is one trade a day, really. Make a little bit of money, get in, get out, and call it a day. Because if you get too greedy, you will lose. I'm sorry if I still sound like messed up. I'm getting over whatever I had, but I'm sure you can still hear it in my voice. But without further ado, let's go ahead and hop into these charts. Real quick, if you're looking for a new broker or looking for a broker in general, try Liquid Brokers, my favorite broker. They have low spreads starting from zero. They have cheap commission fees. They're a regulated broker as well, so your money is protected. And they have different chartings that you can use and whatever best fits your trading style. Fast withdrawals, fast deposits, whatever you want. So yeah, check out Liquid Brokers. All right, so I'm gonna go over some trades that I took last week. I'm gonna show you exactly what I look for when I'm going over these trades, as well as how I draw my zones and everything like that. So Monday I look at 8:30, right? So I wake up around 8:15, or I get on the charts around 8:15. I look at where we're at, and I see here, Monday, we already broke the support and resistance here. So we have a resistance zone there, and we have a support zone there. So I see 8:15, we already broke it. So at this point, all I'm waiting on is a touch back into previous support, which it came up, and if you look to the left here, you see it hit that previous support. Now what I'm waiting on is a rejection for price to start back pushing down, and that's exactly what it did. When it came to push down, I set me a short position there, and I put a tight stop loss. You don't want to take too big of a loss if it does reverse on you. So I put a tight stop loss there, and then we pushed to the downside to a 1 to 3.5 risk to reward ratio. I did jump to the 5-minute as well. So I have actually a friend I trade with. He sniped the top of this here, which is crazy. But yeah, he sniped this trade. I was more conservative. Once I seen this break here on the 5, I went in, had a tight stop loss. I did get in on this wick doji candle here, but I remember it being like a 1 to 3.5 risk to reward ratio. But I got in on that wick doji candle. I jumped to the 15. I just looked to the left, the zone here. That's what I targeted for my take profit. And of course, like I said, I put the stop loss pretty tight. And if we're being honest, this could be a demand zone. We went down. This is a perfect example, actually, of what I like to avoid with supply and demand zones. So we do have a demand zone here. So we draw the demand zone on the box up before the push. The last red candle before the push. We get a lot of imbalance in this candle. We get a little bit here and none here. We get some here. But as you see, we had an area of consolidation up here. And once we broke consolidation, we tanked fast to the downside. If I was to take a trade off this demand zone, it would be a pretty quick, tight trade because we like to scalp anyway. But since it went that fast down to the demand zone, I knew the target there as far as to take profit, but I was not gonna enter because it came way too fast to the downside. I'd rather see it stagger to the downside. Then on Tuesday, we're on US 30 again. So on Tuesday, I get another support and resistance zone. First thing I look for is support and resistance. And again, just because there's support does not mean there's going to be resistance. Does not mean there will be resistance, and vice versa. So I like this zone here, this resistance zone, because it kept touching that zone like too much. So what I did was I marked this up on the 15, dropped to the 5-minute chart, and it's it's 8:15. I marked this on the 5-minute chart. I see a small downtrend here. And then we get this is one of the candles where you get a straight break. We got a retest, but this candle just straight broke. And I seen the volume in this candle. So the candle went so fast, I actually got in a little bit late. I actually got in around this break of structure here. So we bounced off the trend line. We get this initial break of structure. And as soon as I usually see that break of structure with a good candle about to close, because look at the candle timer too, it's not on right now because the market's closed. I took my short position. I did take it around here because the candle moved so fast. I got in a little late, so I just targeted right above right at that zone. As far as a stop loss, and as far as take profit, I just jumped to the 15. I take a look to the left. I see a big candle wick here, and I see this zone here. So I was like, let me target somewhere in that zone. So I targeted down in that zone, hit a 1 to 3, and called it a day on that one. I didn't re-enter any trades because the market was going crazy. Then we have the 31st. So again, support and resistance. We got a small trend line on the 5-minute. Support and resistance, small trend line on the 5-minute. We get a heavy push down. We actually get a touch back into previous support and back into the trend line, and then we pushed off. Could have easily taken a second trade, but I decided not to. Because one trade is enough. I don't want to be. All right, so we're looking at, this is 8:15, looking at the 31st. So this is a little bit more of a difficult looking trade because there's no clear support or resistance. We get a zone here. I like this touched in. We get the area of consolidation here. If you look to the left and I'm looking, I get a small looking trend line going up to the upside like that. I got touch on the trend line, like it. Then I drop to the 5-minute. And then we have the market structure here, right there. I drop to the 5-minute. I'm looking, everything looks the same. Kind of move this trend line a little bit. And I'm gonna keep it where it was at. I like the 15 trend. So I see a nice rejection wick on this candle here, 825. I'm like, all right, if we break this trend line and break this market structure, I'm going for a short. So we broke it. I took this short. My stop loss is right above not only this trend line, it's above this market structure to the left here, this area of consolidation. All right, so I want to look at my targets. Where do I want to get out this trade? So I come back to the 15 because I like targeting 15-minute targets. We are scalping, so we kind of want to be in and out these trades. I see this here. I want to target somewhere in there. It doesn't have to be perfectly aligned, but I want to target somewhere in there. We go down and we hit a nice 1-to-5 risk to reward ratio. All of this is within 20-30 minutes of being on the charts. There's a common misconception you got to look at charts all day. That is not true. But yeah, so we got in, we got out. I think I did take a second trade that day just because I wanted to. I seen we pushed up and all we did was push. Let me delete this so it don't confuse anyone. All we did was push into this zone here, which is previous support. So as soon as I seen we pushed into that zone, and we get this doji and then a strong candle push to the downside. Off of this rejection, I took a short, but I had already made my money. So usually when I do stuff like this, I only risk half of what I've already made. That way I'm still in profit for the day. So as soon as I seen this strong candle push to the downside, I let the candle close, and then I got in on this candle here. I kept my stop loss pretty tight above this structure. That's just me. Usually you want to target above this structure here. But since I'm only want to risk so much, I targeted above this structure. And then I was only targeting, I put a 1-to-5, but of course we still on 15, you can look left. Let's see what we got going. I see this area here. I targeted a 1 to 3 there. I could have got a 1 to 5, but I'm not a greedy person. And this is Friday, which Friday I did not trade US 30. I traded NASDAQ. We come Friday and I see a support zone. I see a resistance zone here. I want to see that broken. And then I see a market structure zone and a small support zone there, or I want to see that broken. So I want to see one of these two break before I take a trade. So I dropped to the 5 minute, see if I can see any trend lines. I did see a trend line here, right? So I see that trend line and I kind of jumped the gun on this one, I'm not gonna lie. So Friday, I actually took a short off this trend line off this trend line rejection. So I took a short off that trend line rejection, tight stop loss. And then of course I'm targeting 15 minutes. So I jump back to the 15 and I want to target somewhere in here. Thing is, once I took that short, I didn't wait for a complete break on this zone here that's on the 15. I just kind of jumped the gun off that rejection, and then we get a strong, wick to the downside, and then a candle here. So I was in the short. I was up a bit, but then it went against me. I lost the first trade. What I did was I just patiently waited because I felt like it was going to go down anyway because we've been in a strong uptrend. The market was overbought. So what I did was I jumped to the 15. And if you look at the 15, sometimes the 5 can mislead you. But if you look at the 15, you see a doji candle here. It never really broke that zone on the 15. Usually is why most of the time I like to draw the zone pretty much down to the wick on the 15. We came back up. I see a strong rejection candle here. And then on the second trade, I was more conservative. So I actually entered the trade. So on the first trade, I lost. And that was a 1 to 11 risk to reward ratio. So on the second trade, once I seen this strong rejection candle and I jumped to the 5, I see we start plummeting. I was like, okay, once we break right here, I'm gonna get in, but I'm gonna keep a stop loss pretty tight right above this area here. And I got a nice 1 to 3, almost 4 risk to reward ratio. Oh well, I targeted here because of this small gap. I like targeting gaps. Usually it goes to that gap. But also just trail your trades as well. So that way you can just trail it and profit. So I lost the first trade and I came back, I won the second trade. But since I lost the first one, I only won not 4 times, but 3 times as much as I, lost. And then after that, I was just kind of letting this trade sit and run some. But once I seen it come back up and hit this area here, I went ahead and exited the trade and took my profit. But that was my trading week for last week. That's everything I look for. I just go in, I look for support and resistance. I look for trend lines if I could draw them. Trend lines are not always there. I look for the market structure, higher highs, higher lows. I look for supply and demand zones, but as you see, supply and demand zones don't happen too often. I think this right here is actually a good supply zone for next week. I'm gonna go ahead and, I'm gonna draw this up now. I think that's gonna be a good supply zone for next week. So that's what I look for. Remember, get you a checklist like I have. So check the trend on 15. I didn't even check the 4. I don't hardly check the 4 hour unless there's nothing I could see on the 15 or the 5. But I look for my support and resistance. I look for overall market structure, higher highs, higher lows. I look for the support and resistance zones. I look for recent supply and demand zones if they are there. And of course, my entry checklist to enter a trade. I want to see the break of trend line or rejection off the trend line, or a break of structure or rejection off the structure, or a break on support and resistance, a breakout on support and resistance, or a breakout on a supply and demand zone, or a bounce off support and resistance, or a bounce off supply and demand zone. Keep your pro tip, when Fed Chair Powell speaks, the market is gonna move. And while we're here, all you have to do is go to calendarforexfactory.com. Go to forexfactory.com/calendar. This will tell you all the news that's going to come out for the week. which, the red folders are important, the orange are somewhat important, and they have other folders where it's like a manila folder and a gray folder, which aren't that important. You can come here, you can come up, filter what you want to look at. I got USD on here only. I only got the most important news. So here will tell you when Fed Chair Powell speaks as well, or when some important news is coming out. So another pro tip, keep that up there too. But that's what I do when I look for trades. All I look for, like I said, support and resistance, trend lines, market structure. And once I get a break or a bounce off that stuff, I just enter the trade, because you're either gonna win or you're gonna lose. Now I do have a high win rate because I'm in and out the market, but no trader is gonna be 100% on their win rate. Traders are gonna lose, you're gonna lose. It's okay to lose. You just gotta bounce back, write your mistake down or see what you did wrong. Like, I did this, and sometimes the strategy just don't play out, and that's just what it is. Sometimes the market do some crazy stuff. I'm gonna make more videos like this explaining my trades during the week. That way, hopefully you can keep learning and growing from it. When you're first starting out as a trader though, don't be so hard on yourself. Take your time, because reading these candlesticks is going to come with experience, and reading this market is going to come with experience. I can teach you the strategy, I can tell you what to look for, but what I can't teach you is the eye of the market. I can't teach you that. That's just something that's going to develop over time, which I have seen people they pick up on it in a month and they're already profitable, and I've seen people who just never are profitable. But yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, and I will see y'all in the next video.